All right, everybody, welcome back to this final stop before our Fixx album ranking. We've got their most recent album. I wouldn't call it their final album because I feel like they're going to keep dropping stuff, but as of today, this is their most recent album. And it came out 2 years ago, 2022's Every 5 Seconds. Very, very cool, kind of trippy looking artwork that kind of wraps around the packaging here. Really cool. Kind of reminds me a lot of the prior records artwork on Beautiful Friction. But yeah, we got kind of at least it feels kind of like a shorter record. I mean, we got 10 tracks here, but it kind of just flies on by, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because you're not bored with this thing the entire time. There's always something good going on here. So we'll hop right into this thing with a very, very solid opener. One that I really forgot about because I've not listened to this one quite as much. I mean, it's not been out as long. I've not had as much of a history with this album as I have had a lot of the other albums, right? But A Life Survived, very, very solid track, and I think it was the perfect opener to be like, hey, we're right back at it again, after, 10 years? Because I think Beautiful Friction was 2012, and if I'm not mistaken, and this one, 10 years later, they pop out with this thing. So, showing yet again that they still have it. It still has that 80s sound, that great, very clean, yet modern, modern like in a good way, not like too overproduced or anything, but just very clean, modern style production. And, you kind of get even this, there's a lot of really cool bass tones going on here. And I really like the bass work on this track in particular. And it also kind of sets the tone. This one has some kind of darker toned tracks throughout here. So then we hop on over to track number 2, which I believe was the first single, if I'm remembering correctly, that dropped for this one. And I love Closer. One of the best ones off here. Very, very hooky. I thought it acted very well as a single, and was the obvious choice for the lead single. And just this has got that, the touches of all their prior great stuff all over it with this track. That guitar tone, yep, check, it's there. Amazing vocals, check there. They're kind of hypnotic, but very catchy melodies going on and singing style of Cy Curnin, check. All of it's there. All the materials are there on this one, and I mean, Closer is one of the best tracks off this album, period. Straight up. Loved it since it came out as a single. Then we got another good one. This one's kind of more of an upbeat one. Take What You Want. And this one's got a really cool feel to it. It kind of picks up the pace a little bit with things. Not that Closer or A Life Survived were slower tracks, really. But this one is kind of, Take What You Want kind of reminds me of something that would maybe be off of Want That Life, just kind of the upbeat nature of it. It's not even a fast-paced track, but just even like the way it's sang and kind of the uplifting kind of sound on the guitar and everything on this one. A very bright sound on this track, which I really dig. So another solid one that's going to get caught in your head right there is Take What You Want. Then we go with Wake Up, and this is another solid one that I kind of forgot about, and it kind of goes back to like the darker kind of tone again, kind of settling it back down from Take What You Want, and one that is really has its good spot on here. Not one of my favorites by any means, but a very good track nonetheless. And I forgot kind of what it went like going into this, and kind of listening through this album and reading, the track listing and stuff on the back. I was like, I remember that title, but I didn't really remember how it went. And I was like, oh, I see, and was like, hey, I'm all about that because that's some good stuff right there. Wake Up, very good song, but just not one of my favorite top tier ones on here. Here's one that, really these next two were some that I forgot just how good they are and ended up becoming some of my favorites. Suspended and Make Believe reminds me a lot of Phantom Living. It's kind of got that that this one is kind of a slower one, and it really has this even the melody is similar in a sense, and kind of the way the song is structured is really similar to Phantom Living, which is obviously a fantastic classic Fixx song. So, doing a little callback to that is cool with me. It's not exactly like the song by any means, or ripping off of it, or it's really stylistically similar, which I think is cool, and I think it's also a good kind of pace breaker up here in the album as well, and has a really good spot on here. And yeah, this one ended up being one of my favorites. So that's another deal. Revisit, and you might find you some new favorites. And Suspended and Make Believe has become one of those. And I gotta say, the next one was another one that ended up being just a fantastic one for me that I forgot about. Lonely as a Lighthouse. Kind of starts off with this weird, almost like military radio kind of sound going on with this call. So you're, even on this recent listen, I was like, wait, what's going on here? Don't we remember this? Then things started going, and then you get to that really, really hooky and catchy chorus, and just like hookiness is, it gets you hooked on it, right? And just love this song. The that main vocal melody on this one is really good, and I really like the kind of time change, kind of changes it up on you a little bit there at the end on this one, which is really cool. Then we go with, man, this one is just a powerful one. Really love this one. Track number 7 here, Cold. And this one is, it's just powerful in the lyrics, kind of sorrowful lyrics, talking about you up and left me cold and all this stuff, and just very powerful. And you can hear it in Cy Kernan's voice really belting it out. And it's got also that kind of, that really, like, drawn, like, where Jamie West Orm will just strum, and then it just let that ring kind of sound go. And it has that going on here while that's happening. You got Cy Curnan, again, just belting it out, these powerful, emotional lyrics, and this has become one of my favorites off here. I kind of remembered this one, bits and pieces of it, but revisiting it made me be like, all right, put the big time stamp of approval on that one, and really love it. Cold is a top tier track for this album, no doubt, and really it serves as like the big, emotional, really powerful piece here. Then we go with Spell, and this one might be my least favorite off here. It's solid, not, as we've seen with most of these albums, there's really not a lot to hate on, right? But there's still tracks you prefer less than the others, and that's again the case here with this one, Spell. It's solid. It's got a cool riff going on it and everything, but just not one of my favorites. Now, this second last track here with track number 9, Woman of Flesh and Blood, has always been one of, if not the top favorites on this album ever since I heard it the first time when it came out. Just from the get-go, this thing's hooky, that melody right off the bat, and the verses and everything, and it's just got a really good flow to it that might catch yourself humming along to. Very classic Fixx. Also kind of reminds me of something that might be off Phantoms or Reach the Beach. So that's always a good thing, of course. And I really like, it's that main melody, that Woman of Flesh and Blood, just really just kind of grooves, and kind of like the album cover, just flows off very well. Love this track. One of my favorites, if not my top favorite off of this album. One that I've even, before revisiting this, have come back to and revisited. Then we close her on out with Never Ending. And this one is another one of my least favorites. I think it's a solid little closer there. And kind of, ends it on a more upbeat feel and everything. This is kind of a more faster paced track, more upbeat. Which, it fits, following, a track that's kind of more mellow out, like Woman of Flesh and Blood. Also near the tail end of the album, you got Cold and stuff like that. So, I think it's fine that they chose to close it out with this one. But it's just not one of my favorite tracks by any means. I'd say I do like it better than Spell, so it's not my least favorite off here. But it just doesn't, with all this awesome material we got on here, it's kind of near the bottom half for me, and probably my second least favorite, right? So right above Spell probably, but solid enough. Like the lyrics on it and everything. So that's it right there, guys. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this most recent. Again, not going to say final, because I can see these guys dropping something within the next year or so. I just, they're touring right now, so who knows, right? Maybe they'll end up dropping another record. Hopefully it doesn't take another 10 years like it did this last run around in between Beautiful Friction and this one. So, but great album here that I was a fan of from the get-go. And honestly, I'm probably even more of a fan of now. One that's just only grown on me. So, it's definitely going to be tough ranking these things, as I always say. It's so true, though, because that's what we're doing next time, guys. We're going to be ranking the Fixx albums. And, of course, with that, we are going to be announcing the next first, the one-off. That it's just going to be a one and done, band with a one and done album, which I think y'all are going to really enjoy. If you're following along, jamming out to that with me and going along with that. And I really think you guys are going to dig the next band, full-on big discography we're going to jump into. So very excited for that. So anyways, guys, tell me what your thoughts are on this most recent, possibly final. I'll throw that. Possibly final Fixx album. Hopefully not, though. And let me know if this lived up to the hype for you, because it certainly did for me. And drop some likes, comments, subscribe, and let's just keep this thing rolling. And stay tuned for next time when we rank all the Fixx albums. Thanks.